Hey, what's going on everyone? It's me, Mr. Mario, and this is my friend and our friend, the Dreamcast. Now, the Dreamcast has a little bit of a problem. It's a great system, you can get some pretty nice video quality if you hook it up through VGA, which is the best out of the supported formats. There's, RF, composite, S-Video, and VGA. I think RGB scarred as well too. Either way though, we have a bit of a problem. This is an HDMI cable, and as you can see, HDMI does not fit in there. Now, seems like a bit of a silly thing because you would think, naturally this is not going to have HDMI on it. And that's true. However, apparently there's a way we can fix that up. In comes this thing I just got from Turkey. Well, I ended up getting it, I don't know, a few weeks ago or so. By the time this video comes out, it'll be a few weeks. But this is from the Bahar Bros, which is this is the second thing I've ordered from them. And this is supposed to be their Akura, or Akura, I think it's Akura, Dreamcast HDMI Box. Now this thing goes for $85, and first off, let's unbox it and see what exactly it is, because I haven't even opened it yet. Alright, there's the packaging. Let me just throw the box over there. My dog can play with it or something, I don't know. We'll go ahead and take all this out. And right here, let's open up this baggie that it all comes in. So, we got our cable, and we got this box. And here it is, the Akura, or the Akura. I'm going to say Akura. Interesting, the box, that's what I'm saying. Now, this actually came a little bit loose. Interesting, so I just had to tighten it up right here. But, black looking box. It's actually pretty similar to their other standards that they have. And I just want to show you all what all's here. So this is supposed to be the little multi-out thing that you hook this up to. So if you have this type of standard cable, you could actually use multiple different things on it. Of course, the standard being Dreamcast. So this is for our AV multi-out on the Dreamcast, which I'll show you all right here. There we go. And this ends up hooking into this end of the box. Now let's go ahead and also take a look at it. So I'm not going to open this thing up, but it has that. It has, I would assume that's 3.5 millimeters. Let me check and see. Yep, it is. Alright, cool. So that's, I guess, if you have a different input signal on there. It has several switches, which I'm assuming this is for like your aspect ratio, your scan lines, a few other options. I haven't looked at these yet, so we'll see how it is. But 4 switches, and then here we go. That's what we're wanting. That's what we're wanting, the HDMI port. That's cool. Now, some of you might be asking what the difference is between this box and the other boxes they have, such as the Hanzo, the Toro, a few other boxes as well. I actually have a Hanzo right here, so I could actually show you. Now, this is pretty similar in setup, and it looks like there's VGA RGB, even odd, with and on or off with the scan line, so just a bunch of scan line adapters. But it has the same type of setup, so, similar form factor, different color, different name. But this right here goes to the Dreamcast, and then you got the switches. Nothing on this side, although that would be for SCART, is what it looks like if you want that. And then on the other side is VGA. Now, I was actually going to do a video on the Hanzo, but the reason why I didn't is because, honestly, I don't use this thing. People say this is the best box you can get. I'm not doubting them, but honestly, it's just really annoying to use VGA in 2017. It's really annoying to try and do that. I even have a Framemeister, and I was really disappointed when I found out that there's no easy, natural way to go from VGA to HDMI with the Framemeister. You have to do a bunch of other stuff, so I kind of just put this in the closet, and I said, you know what? Maybe a better solution will come out. And hopefully it did. So this is actually exactly what I've been wanting. This is Dreamcast to HDMI. That's it. Now, this is not, from what I understand, this is not an upscaler, so this isn't gonna upscale your stuff to 1080p or 720p already. This is just gonna output it to 480p, but it's going to do it in HDMI. So, the way it should all look, we have that going to the Dreamcast. We're going to hook that up right here, and then take the HDMI cable, and that's it. So instead of having the wild rat's nest of cables we have with VGA, we have Dreamcast, box, HDMI, that's it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this out, I'm going to see how it is and everything, and show you all some of the differences and such with this, or just how it works, because I haven't tried this yet, so this will be interesting. From what I understand as well too, I think this is all self-powered, so as long as you have HDMI and the Dreamcast hooked up, it's all good. You don't need a separate power supply, which is nice. Hopefully I'm getting that right. If I'm getting it wrong, I'll correct it in the video. But let's go ahead and give this a shot. Alright, so just giving it a little bit of a test right here. I got everything hooked up, going to turn it on. Oh, there we go, that was my fault. But turn on the Dreamcast. This Dreamcast is a little bit loud, but As you can see, that's it. That's the only light that comes on really, and then you can mess around with the switches. And I have this hooked up to my Elgato right now, but it came up naturally, no issues on there. So I'm going to show you all some of the features as well too. So right here, this is how I would like it, but just messing around with the switches. So the first switch, I'm just going from top to bottom. That enables scan lines, so that's it with scan lines enabled. That's it with no scan lines. The second switch, I don't see any difference on there, even if I turn on the scan lines. There we go, okay. So if you turn on the scan lines, this will give you either single or double scale lines. It just depends on how you want them to look. So we got that. What about switch number 3? This makes it much darker. This makes it lighter. This is how I want it to be. I want it to be bright. And then the fourth one, let's see. The fourth switch, I am not seeing anything I can do with it, unfortunately. So the fourth switch, at least I don't know what it does, but we have, scan lines, and you can make it single or double, and then you can change the brightness on there. You could at least do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have some gameplay footage here as well too, and just mess around with different settings.
Alright, so now we're looking at some gameplay footage, and I know some people might not be all that impressed with the way it looks, and I understand. I'm actually going to explain this. So this is not a direct capture. I'm going to explain my setup. First off, I use a Elgato HD60, and huge warning to you all, if anybody owns that capture card, this does not natively work with the HD60. The problem that you have is this ends up outputting at, let's say, 640 by 480, and that resolution is too low for the Elgato game capture to actually record at. So you can use it as a pass-through, so you could hook it up to your Elgato and you could play your system that way, which is what I did. However, if it comes to recording, if you fire up the software, if you use OBS, if you try and record, it will not show the image, and it will just bring up an error message saying that the resolution is too low, or it can't figure out what the resolution is. So for this, I kind of had to go around a hacky way, which I don't recommend this at all, not at all. But what I did was I used my Framemeister, which again, this isn't how it's supposed to be done, but I just did this to capture some gameplay. I used my Framemeister and ended up using a profile on there, which was it was designed for the Hanzo or the Toro box. So it's pretty much a VGA type thing. And I ended up taking that. So I went from the Dreamcast to the Akura box to HDMI, because it has an HDMI pass-through on there, and then use that profile and use the HDMI out from that to capture on here. I know, not practical at all, not what it is meant for, but I just tried to get some direct capture footage right here. I didn't actually do any gameplay because honestly, I wasn't really very impressed at how it looked. This actually made it look worse. So for anybody who's looking at this video and saying, oh, it doesn't even look that good, I know it doesn't look that good, but I promise you it is so much better when you're actually using it. This was just my desperate attempts to end up recording. Now, if you have the original Elgato, I think it might work. I actually can't find mine right now, so I can't give it a shot. But with the HD60, a bit disappointing. It's not a fault of the Akura itself. The problem lies in the actual capture card that I am using, and it just not being able to handle that lower resolution. Now, the ways you could fix this are, using a upscaler or using a better capture card, or just a more compatible one. Using a more compatible capture card would be your better option if you're trying to record on here. However, the other method would be using an upscaler of some kind. I don't recommend going for the Framemeister if you're just trying to play Dreamcast games, but maybe some other type of setup right there. So I promise, again, it looks so much better. So I had another method of trying to record, and I'm a little bit embarrassed to show this because it's not really the best capture method, but I'll go ahead and show some gameplay and some footage right here of it. Now, what you're going to be looking at right here is, again, the same intro scene in Shenmue, except now you might be saying, okay, it looks like you're just filming your screen. Yeah, I actually I had to resort to filming my damn screen for this. I'm not proud of it. It feels like I'm trying to do that thing where I'm trying to record a montage or some gameplay as a 13-year-old and I don't have enough money for a capture card, but this was the other method I was trying, so I was able to get it, focused in well enough, and I think it looks good enough for what I was able to accomplish with my camera. Unfortunately, though, it is still a camera pointed at a screen, so you're gonna have to forgive that. But even if you just look right here, you could tell that it is at least looking better than the direct capture that I was showing before. This is what you would be seeing, except I promise you, in person, it will look much nicer than this. If there's any type of issues with this footage you're seeing, it's because I'm I'm pointing a camera to my monitor. Now, when it comes right down to it, would I recommend this device? I would absolutely recommend this device. In my opinion, this is the way to play the Dreamcast. If you got $85 and you don't mind waiting a bit, I did pre-order it, so it took a while for it to actually release, and then it had to ship, from Turkey to the United States. But if you are interested in getting the best possible quality and ease of use out of your Dreamcast, skip past the VGA stuff, don't do SCART, get this box right here. If you're really interested in it, I can promise you it is worth the $85. I really wasn't liking my previous setup, with the Hanzo or any of those VGA cables, because I just couldn't get them to work properly with what I had. However, with this, it's perfect. And the only qualm I have about this device is it's not even a fault of the device itself. It's my own fault because of the capture card I have, because it is not an upscaler, and because my capture card cannot handle a 640 by 480 resolution to capture at. I cannot record any gameplay properly off here. However, if your goal is just to play Dreamcast games, or if you have a capture card that actually supports that lower resolution, I promise you this is an excellent device, and I am extremely impressed with it. I was absolutely shocked at how clean and how vivid everything was looking. Of course, the graphics, like some people are going to say, oh, the graphics still, they don't look all that much better. You're not going to improve the graphics with this. You're going to improve the image quality, you're going to improve the colors, but you're not going to improve the graphics. The graphics cannot be bumped up unless you're using an emulator. That's just how it is. Picture quality and graphics are two different things. But when it comes down to it, again, I would absolutely recommend this. And if you're interested in this or any of the other Bahar Bro products, there's going to be links down below in the description where you can check them out. So again, if you are getting a Dreamcast, and if you're kind of in that market where you want to get the best possible quality out of it, or you already have a Dreamcast and you want the best possible quality, this right here, this box, the Akura box, best thing that you can get, and in my opinion, it is totally worth it after going through the headache of all the other stuff. Anyways, this is Mr. Mario signing off. Thank you all for watching, everyone. If you have this box or you're interested in it, let me know what you think of it.